All right, Marques, you're not huge into the streaming community, but I'm sure you've seen a lot of stuff over the last week about something called Streamlabs and a lot of really big names that I'm sure you know of tweeting about it.
It's been floating around my timeline.
Okay.
I haven't looked into it too much. I've heard you've read into it more.
I've read into it. I kind of knew the general timeline of what happened because like I used to stream a little bit just for fun every once in a while. And I got really into learning how to set up streams and everything. I've set up streams for the channel here. I think it's a really fun platform. I think streaming in general is super entertaining. And I love a lot of the streaming community. They're very similar to YouTube.
Yeah, we've done a few live streams. We've pretty much always used a piece of software called OBS to run the live stream. It's how you can switch between cameras, direct your audio sources, plug into whatever bitrate you want and go live.
Yep.
Streamlabs is the company that makes that software.
No.
And
that's I'll go back into the history a little bit, but just like remember that you said that because that will happen. We will get into that later on.
Okay, sure.
Okay. If you don't mind me going into a little brief history here, like you said, there's a company or a program called OBS. It's called Open Broadcast Software. Essentially, it's an open source platform that, like you said, very simple to take what's on your screen, maybe what's on your webcam, a couple other things, and be able to broadcast that with a Twitch key or a YouTube key to broadcast it to those live streaming platforms.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm with you.
Yeah, super simple. The program itself maybe isn't the most simple, but
it's not pretty, but it gets the job done.
You get to learn it pretty well. And then, so in the streaming community, unlike YouTube, there is kind of like AdSense, but one of the main ways that people make profit on when they're live streaming is through Twitch donations or Twitch subscriptions. And kind of a way when people are live streaming to make that a little more interactive and a little more for the community is they have these like Twitch alerts. So pretty much if I were streaming something and you donated to me, up on my screen would pop Marques donated X amount of money, and I would probably be like, oh, cool, Marques, thanks for watching. Thanks for the $10 or whatever.
That's not built into OBS.
That is not built into OBS and used to be, there was a standalone website called Twitch Alerts. And essentially what it would do is you would connect your stream, you would connect your PayPal, everything that could see if somebody was donating or subscribing, and essentially pop out a window with a green background. And then you could customize the alert that would come up. So I think like the default one's like the Mario star and it says Marques has subscribed.
Cool.
And then through OBS, you would select that window, chroma key out the green, and now you could place that anywhere on your stream to pop up whenever it happens. It's all automated. You don't have to worry about it. You'll get a little notification sound and you can tell you got subscribed to, right?
Cool.
So that was in like 2015-ish, Twitch Alerts. Come 2018, I believe it was, Twitch Alerts decided to rebrand to a company called Streamlabs. And now Streamlabs is the company we're talking about a lot.
Okay.
They decided to create their own open broadcast software, or their own streaming software, I should call it. And they called it Streamlabs OBS. So essentially what this was now is very, very similar to OBS, which is open source. Everyone knows it. They called it a fork software. So you're taking the original code from OBS, starting your own, and they're adding a couple little features. Like now they have those alerts and everything built in. They have like some default templates. They have a couple things that they're trying to make it more user-friendly. And that's how they marketed it like crazy. Like, this is more user-friendly. There's all these customizable things you can do. You can hop on, you can stream instantly. It's really, really good for new people who are getting into streaming. And 2018, we have everyone wants to stream.
Yeah, there was definitely a bit of a streaming wave that happened. I mean, for sure. I think a lot during the pandemic, a lot more people started watching streams and started plugging in.
Oh, yeah.
Which was obviously a little bit after 2018, but now obviously a lot more people stream than ever. Maybe this was around Ninja's peak. Maybe.
Probably. I mean,
around, like
Fortnite, you're seeing like younger people starting to stream because younger people are getting better at all these games. And I always think it's fun because I love having anybody trying to create something. Yeah. Streaming is a whole nother platform of creation. It's usually pretty easy to do.
So I guess my just quick clarifying question is this version of the fork software was done with OBS's permission. OBS made this open broadcast software.
Correct.
Then Streamlabs, this new rebranded company, comes along and says, hey, we'd like to make another version of OBS. We're going to use your code, and we're going to call it OBS also. Is that what happened? Kind of.
I can skip it. I'll skip ahead a little bit here. So like they're legally allowed to use this software. It's open source and everything.
Cool.
Now, here's the issue, and one of the things we've seen recently. So I'll touch on it quickly to answer your question, and then go into it later when kind of everything starts to fall apart.
Okay.
They reached out to OBS and said, "Hey, is it okay if we use the word OBS in our new naming scheme, Streamlabs OBS?" OBS asked them, "Please don't," and then they did anyways. So they come out with Streamlabs OBS. It's a little easier for people to use, a little more user friendly. Starts getting really big and everything, and everything's going good. I guess OBS never really said anything about it publicly. Remember, OBS is not like a for-profit company. There are a bunch of developers creating a software together as just like passion project, or
Sure.
I don't know the deep down into it, but it's definitely not something that's hyper focused on monetization, which what we start seeing Streamlabs OBS become. They're offering all these like premium subscription services. They're offering all these different customizable scenes you can buy straight off them. Like they're hyper focused on making money off of this, to the point where Logitech eventually buys them and obviously buys them out and is now a part of Logitech.
Okay.
They start making all these different programs. They have one that can help you take Twitch clips and turn them into like correctly formatted for TikTok or Reels and stuff like that.
Okay.
They started making a Stream Deck for your phone. They start doing all these kind of different things.
Oh, Streamlabs makes the Stream Deck that helps you like live switch between things.
Yes and no.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's all so I'm finally getting to the good part here. We're kind of like fast forward to right now. Streamlabs announces that they're coming out with a new program called Streamlabs Studio, which is essentially cloud-based streaming platform. So you can stream from your console without having to do a fancy capture card or all these different things. So you don't have to plug your Xbox into your computer. Essentially, you can stream straight from your Xbox and it's going to go to Twitch. And I believe you use your phone to kind of customize some of the stuff in it. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
The problem is there's another program called that, which is that itself isn't the problem. You can have similar programs to each other. But this program's called Lightstream, and they've been doing this cloud-based streaming for a while. And I have a link in the document, actually, I'm going to have you click. And it is a tweet from Lightstream about Streamlabs' new Streamlabs Studio. And I just want you to take a look at it really quickly and tell me what you're seeing.
Hey, can I copy your homework? Yeah, just change it up a bit so it's not obvious you copied it. Bet.
All right, so on the left is the landing page for Lightstream, and on the right is the landing page for Streamlabs Studio. And if you want to just look at it quickly, maybe describe it.
So they didn't copy the name, but it looks like they copied point for point all of the same features and sort of explained it the same way. I mean, I'm on the blown up image, and it's like on the left, here's how you level up your Xbox and PlayStation streams. And then I look at Streamlabs Studio, and at the top it says, here's how you level up your console streams. You go down, it says, how does it work? You go down to the Streamlabs, how does it work? And point for point, cloud capture for console streams, cloud capture for console streams, full layout and design control, full layout and design control. So whoever built this entire landing page for Streamlabs was clearly at least inspired by, I'm going to say they copied. Okay. I'm going to say they copied the Lightstream page.
Do me one favor. At the bottom, read the user reviews on both sides.
Oh, boy. So Lightstream is literally one of the greatest things I've ever discovered. Thank you so much for making it easy. Just Senso. Love this platform. Love how they listen to their community. Paris Storm. Now on the other, Streamlabs Studio is literally one of the greatest things I've ever discovered. Thank you so much for making it easy. Love this platform. Love how I listen to their community. It's the perfect platform for console streaming.
It's word for word. Everything on both of these pages is word for word.
Okay, so up until seeing that, I was like, this could just be an innocent, like, we have all the same features. I'll just paraphrase your exact layout and describe all of our features. But
it's word for word. The only thing they changed are the software program images, which is obviously if Streamlabs posted pictures of Lightstream, that would be a huge issue. So this is kind of where all the dominoes start falling now. So after they tweet that, if you look in the comment replies, it's basically like, here's Elgato, just write, know that feel, and then showed an article called Control Your Live Stream from Your Phone with Streamlabs Stream Deck. Remember when you just asked if they're the ones who make Streamlabs?
Oh, Elgato makes
Streamlabs or Stream Deck and has made a mobile version from your phone. All right, so same thing. Now there's an app called Combo, which lets supercharge growth of your Twitch channel with automated TikTok clips. Does that sound familiar? Yep, we mentioned that before. Streamlabs created something called Cross Clip, which is the exact same thing.
Wow.
And then so what finally comes forward is we eventually see OBS tweeting out their kind of response to all this, because they've been pretty silent with all of this happening. OBS, like in the past couple of years, hasn't really said much about this, but now it kind of comes out that everyone's the meme, I made this, no, I made this meme. Yeah. This is that. That's so OBS comes out with a couple tweets that kind of went all around Twitter. So if you saw anything, this is probably one of the things that really, really set it off. I'm just going to read off a quote here. Near the launch of Streamlabs OBS, Streamlabs reached out to us about using the OBS name. We kindly asked them not to. They did so anyways and followed up with filing a trademark. We've tried to sort this out in private and they've been uncooperative at every turn. We're often faced with confused users and even companies who do not understand the difference between the two apps. So not only are they having users who are confused whether Streamlabs OBS and OBS are partnered, but they're even getting support tickets from things that Streamlabs OBS are messing up. And asking OBS devs for refunds and how to fix things. And now these nonprofit, basically volunteers or whatever at OBS, the developers are getting completely spammed with all these different issues that Streamlabs OBS is having. And I guess like my first thought on this was when I read it, I immediately thought these were the same thing.
Yeah.
I thought Streamlabs OBS was like this new, more... I thought it was their like monetized version of OBS. Like, I've said it's hyper focused on being monetized, and a lot of people describe it like that. And I kind of just thought I was a moron. And
they look very similar.
And, I mean, the name OBS is just so well known. It's
that's the thing. Yeah. The name is so well known, and in that case they literally use the same name. So like when I'm first hearing they're building a more monetized version of the same thing. At first, when they make these features like easier to use, it's like, oh, this is a good thing. They're like enabling more people to be a creator, which I'm in favor of democratizing the process. And if you can make a version of OBS that's more user friendly and allows you to plug these things in and have a better stream, you've made a great product. Then the malicious part comes in where you name it the same thing, market it the same way, and ultimately start taking the customers of those same companies. Yeah. And then you keep doing it in other parts of streaming to various degrees of maliciousness. Not a great look. It also, to me, I'm not a lawyer, but it kind of seems like the perfect beginning of just suing this company. I don't know if they're big enough to have that type of resources to do that.
I don't know much about that. In one of OBS's statements, they said that the stuff with the name they did legally, but it just like feels super unethical because of the fact that they reached out, asked permission, didn't get permission, and then did it anyways.
I just picture like you reading this to a judge. So it's like, okay, so you had the company, it was called OBS. Yes. Okay. And then what happened? Then this company reached out and asked if they could use our name. And then what happened? Then we said no. Then what happened? Then they did it anyway. Oh, then what happened? Then they started taking our customers because of all the confusion between the two products and the obvious infringement. That's a pretty bad look.
It's a really bad look, I think. And just to prove that I'm not the total idiot here, thinking that these are the same things, some of the like biggest streamers on Twitch also were like, wait, what? This is not the same thing? Ammunition, Hassan, Pokimane, some of these are partnered. Like Pokimane has her face on their webpage being used because she's partnered with them, and she thought it was also part of OBS originally. Wow. So now you're seeing a bunch of them coming out saying they don't want to be supported or don't want to support Streamlabs OBS anymore. There's a lot of really great support and everything coming out for the original OBS. I'm glad they're finally getting their name out there. And then all these like Lightstream and everything, lots of support there. There's even proof that Streamlabs OBS was paying for targeted ads if you typed in OBS Studio to come up on. Jesus. I have a picture of it in here. So
that's so much.
There's a lot of really shady stuff going on with Streamlabs OBS.
There was a line somewhere in there where you could argue innocence, up to the point of like, we built these creator tools that are a little bit better and a little bit more targeted.
Yeah.
And somewhere way beyond that line is we paid for targeted ads so that when people search for your product, they find ours. Mm-hmm. That's
they crossed the line and spit on it on their way past.
That's terrible.
But yeah, there's even more and more stuff's coming out, and I highly suggest there's a YouTube channel called Epos Vox, EPOSVOX, that has a bunch of really good
like explainers.
Yes.
Okay.
He has a bunch of really good explainers on all of this. We'll link it in the show notes. I highly suggest watching it because he does a whole channel on like creating a streaming environment and being able to stream for yourself. So he's been in this for a really long time. Highly suggested. But if you've been seeing all this stuff popping up on Twitter, hopefully this is a little TLDR. I don't think I got too into the weeds for it because there is more, but at the same time, I feel like I got a little too far. So
thanks for watching this clip. Hope you're watching it on a brand new 55-inch black 50% off TV you got on Black Friday. I hope that's the situation right now.
With leftovers. Leftover sandwich, is that your go-to?
I don't have a go-to. I mean, casserole's always on the menu after Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving?
You just put it all on one thing.
Okay. Have you heard of people putting it in a waffle maker? No. It hits.
Whatever you're doing. Yeah. Best of luck. Thanks for watching. Get subscribed. Don't miss the next one.
Do it. We'll be thankful for it.
Oh, of course. Of course.